Well, hello there, guys, and welcome back to another fantastic game from Fury Software. We're looking at Strategic Command Wars of the Americas. And now this is an addition, a DLC to the existing Strategic Command American Civil War. The difference is you get to do the conquest of Mexico, you get to do the war between the United States and Napoleon the Third, of course, Napoleon the Third's invasion of Mexico, and you even get to do the incredible Triple Alliance War against Paraguay. I'm not sure how many people are even familiar with this war, but I find it to be one of the most fascinating in history. Over here, we have Ghosts of the Pacific, where if you like naval combat, you can actually do this sort of naval campaign between Chile, Peru, and Bolivia, fighting over the Atacama Desert. And we've got Remembering the Maine. I'm really not familiar with this one, but I think this was Spain's second and final attempt to retake Mexico. I could be mistaken on that. To retake Texas. I could be mistaken on that. Really not familiar with this at all. And I think what we're going to do today is we're going to start on the conquest of Mexico. Border disputes between Mexico and the United States exploded into war in the spring of 1856. Is this fulfillment of America's manifest destiny? Well, I sure want to take a look and kind of see what it looks like. It looks like here the computer will be playing USA. I don't want that. I want to play as America, of course. And let's jump right in. Now, of course, you can mess with all these preferences. You guys know this. We could go for national colors instead of 3D units. So sort of something like this. But I think what we'll do, I kind of like the 3D units, particularly in this, where I'll do this and national colors. So we'll go ahead. We shall proceed into the conquest of Mexico. Of course, if you like these sorts of videos, you know what you got to do. Hit that like button, drop a comment down below, maybe subscribe if you're new. But for now, we are going to have a look, and of course, Mexico is going to get the first move, sort of beginning to attack, and we need to make sure to counterattack, get over the Rio Grande there, get to Monterrey even maybe, or at a minimum, stop them. William Hickings Prescott's book, The History of the Conquest of Mexico, is considered to be one of the greatest accounts of the Spanish invasion and overthrow of the Aztec Empire in 1521. Like the soldiers of the war, carried into battle by many volunteers seemed almost as a guide to Winfield Scott's army, following as if they were in the footsteps of Hernando Cortez. Wow, would you like to bring a copy of the History of Conquest? Yes. So we're going to be a little bit aggressive, as it were. We are going to be colonizing the area. And there we go. If you want to read the book, you're actually going to get little passages there. Now, what I'm trying to do is find that damn cavalry force. Let's do that. Let's also follow them with our own cavalry force. And here we have a cavalry brigade. I'd like to bring up additional forces, but I see their force right there preparing to cross the river. And I don't want them to have this zone of control. That's another issue. So what I'm going to do, so we get that artillery over there, we'll be able to use it next turn. And I might even go to Rancho Davis to hold it, but I think I'm going to hold here to make sure the enemy doesn't get beyond our lines. Now, of course, as the Americans here, we don't have many forces initially. It takes some time to start actually, have some new forces arrive to assist in the war effort. Now, I'm going to try to purchase some additional forces here, but as you can see, we just simply do not have the necessary required chits to get through there. So we're going to end the turn, hope for the best, expect the worst, and actually going to Fort Brown might not be such a bad idea. So I'm actually going to keep these regulars in Fort Brown, holding down the fort. Maybe that's where that saying came from, and we'll end the turn right here. So this seems to be, again, one of many campaigns here. I'm guessing it's going to extend into quite a large war, but we could see Mexico being quite aggressive, getting across the Rio Grande there. We're going to have to cross ourselves and be a bit more aggressive. And I think since this is, essentially just a look at the game, we might even take a look at other campaigns. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I really do want to get across that Rio Grande. So I'm going to Matamoros, and of course, they are waiting for us. We're going to have to break through Matamoros, though. I definitely see a potential to break through there. So I want to get to Reynosa, but I'm almost certain they're going to have forces. You don't find out unless you try, though. Okay. See, we could have been a bit more aggressive there. So I'm going to get behind this force in Matamoros. But again, primarily to cut him off, not necessarily to actually charge across there. It doesn't seem like it would be possible anyway. We could also start bringing these forces down from San Antonio, Texas. It's just a small regiment there, but, you know, anything helps in this particular situation. So let's do that, and end the turn. The city of Reynosa is now American. I don't know for how long, but it definitely is. I can promise you that. Here we go. Enemy contact at Reynosa. Beautiful. And really the goal here is just to decimate these armies one by one. The Bear Flag Revolt begins. California declares independence from Mexico. And there's that beautiful flag of the California Republic. Also, the Oregon Territory divided between Great Britain and the USA. Later, of course, USA and Canada. But there we go. So I'm hoping the Bear Revolt will help to take some of the pressure off the rest of our units. And what do you know? We're getting some additional regulars here. And we can put them in New Orleans, Louisiana, which is a possibility. I wonder if we could just drop them right there. So interesting. We are going to have to bring them over from New Orleans. So these fellas are definitely going to have to take a ship to get to Mexico. And this just goes to show you, when you think of things like the Gila expedition, things of that nature, where entire groups, entire regiments disappeared in that territory. You could see, when you see the distance between what is considered civilization and what is considered, you know, the border of you know, Mexico, or the border of the Indian territories to the northwest. You know, these are areas that a lot of people ain't ever going to come back from. It's a good time to take a look at another campaign, too, because we are currently a bit trapped in by this army here. I do think, though, if we just keep on smashing away, we're eventually going to force that brigade to fall back. But I don't like that we're leaving Fort Brown open at all. Let's just go over here. Sort of cut off any forces from Fort Brown. And of course, attrition losses. Again, one thing I love about these strategic command games, it's you know, obviously going to have a lot to do with supply, with logistics. It will affect your armies, as it should in a situation like this. And there we go. Kearny's army deploys west. So we do have additional forces arriving, and without them, I don't think we'd stand much of a chance, all things considered. Oh, yeah, there we go. Now, we'll be able to get some return fire, but too little, too late. I think the best thing we could do is funnel these troops out of here safely. Maybe try and trap their army at Fort Brown. So what we would do here, we got additional brigades to deploy. Interesting, those existing brigades, oh, that's right, they're over in Mobile, Alabama. So let me just see here, just out of curiosity. Transport. Look how awesome that is, guys. So we can transport. It's going to take a while, but we're going to get them over there to the coast. Over with Taylor's army. By the way, does anybody know, maybe you can put it in the comments below, what did Taylor become eventually? So don't go to Google to find out. You should know this. I think even if you're not from the United States, you should know this information. So I'm going to try to actually just go for Matamoros. It's the best choice for us right now. First shot didn't work out so well. That's okay. There's always a second shot. And I am continuing to bring down forces from Goliad. We've also got the Texas Rangers arriving, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Texas Rangers. Beautiful. We can also transport the rest of these forces. Not these guys, but the guys over here. So, long-range amphibious transport. I think that's what we're going for. Yeah, this guy's going to have to wait, unfortunately. But we are starting to get some folks on the ships and heading over to the war. That being said, I promised I would show you guys another war. I want you guys to be forced to hit that like button and comment to get more content from this particular DLC. I love to play every single war in this DLC. But let's jump into another one and just kind of see what to expect. Welcome back, guys. I promised yet another look at another campaign, and this one is going to be the war between Chile and Bolivia. A lot of corporations actually involved in this were multinational sugar corporations, banana corporations, things like that, as well as a lot of ore corporations trying to get all that delicious ore from the Atacama Desert. Now, it might just be a desert, but let me tell you, there's a lot of good stuff there, and we want to make sure to begin this war in earnest, get started here, and start attacking as soon as possible. As you can see, we've got a pretty good navy. I mean, I'm actually kind of impressed by... That's a hell of a navy, it really is. So the idea in this campaign would be, of course, to start getting those ships heading to the north as quickly as possible to intercept any Bolivian ships, things of that nature. I'm actually going to try and look and see. They're going to be somewhere in this area. The Peruvians, all that stuff. So I'm going to start heading in here. And look at this ship, by the way. These are ironclads, guys. You know, this was at the point many years, or about 20 years after the American Civil War. So just imagine massive naval battles with these ironclad ships. Like, I think it's absolutely beautiful. Again, this particular campaign is really more for somebody that's into, like, naval conflicts. You're going to get a lot of naval warfare, but it's certainly enjoyable, and it's really going to take you to a new strategic place. Now, I'll do one more for you guys, because this one is a little sparse in terms of the land warfare, so I'm just going to show you guys the War of the Triple Alliance. That's it. I'm not actually going to jump into it. I want you guys to ask for this, because let me be clear with you. If I place Paraguay here, I'm going to be beaten. There's just no chance of winning. There's no chance. We're facing Argentina and Brazil, as well as Bolivia. It's not showing it here, but this particular war, a number of different countries were fighting against Paraguay. So I'm going to go ahead, jump right in. I just want to see how bad the odds are, basically. This was the bloodiest war of South America, by the way, the absolute bloodiest, if you, of course, ignore colonization and all of that stuff. Despite the best efforts, the armies of the Triple Alliance have crossed the Paraná River and now occupy a small part of our territory. Their objective will be the capture of our fortress at Humarita, whose guns watch over the Paraguay River and command only practical route to Asunción. While Humalta's fortifications, the mighty Quadrilatero, are among the strongest in the world, our ability to send reinforcements to the fortress will rely on maintaining control of Pilar. As long as a land route is maintained between Humarita and Pilar, it will also be possible to deploy new units. Alright, so we can also dig fortifications, but look at how beautiful this is. Look at this, guys. I mean, like I said, this was Napoleonic warfare in South America. Absolutely brutal warfare that, like I said, was the bloodiest war on the continent, which I think is incredible. So if you want to see this war and many others, you know what you got to do. Hit that like button, comment down below, and subscribe. Look at these vicious battles we could have. Absolutely massive Argentinian armies headed our way, and all I want to do is knock them down to the ground, amigo. Finish them off forever. But you can see the Brazilians are helping them. Nonetheless, I want to destroy one army at least in the name of Paraguay. And again, despite Paraguay being completely outnumbered, they fought really well. I mean, they fought bravely. They did, of course, lose the war in the end. But imagine if we could change history here and perhaps get a victory for Paraguay, conquering the rest of South America and creating one massive super state. Anyway, guys, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for checking out the DLC. I'm loving it. So a special thanks to Matrix Games and Fury Software for a job well done. Now let's go do some battle that'll work.